Welcome back, everyone, to another Explainer. I am super excited about this one because today we're unpacking a really fascinating and, honestly, a deeply relatable business case study. We're going to look at the hidden mechanics of local search visibility. And to do this, we're going to follow the story of an interior designer named Sarah. You see, Sarah's story perfectly captures this frustrating plateau that, well, almost every service-based business hits at some point. It's that terrifying moment where your skills are literally sharper than ever, but the phone just stops ringing. So, through her journey, we're going to uncover exactly why some local businesses absolutely thrive, while others inexplicably stall out. And more importantly, we'll look at the exact digital lever you need to pull to fix it.
Okay, let's dive into this. So Sarah started her interior design studio with an incredible amount of passion and a really clear vision, right? She wanted to transform everyday spaces into beautiful dream homes. And she built this absolutely gorgeous environment to do it in. We're talking mood boards on the wall, samples perfectly organized, just a stunning overall aesthetic. But the reality is starkly different. The studio is beautiful, sure, but it is dead quiet. She's sitting there scrolling through her phone, constantly refreshing her emails, and her project pipeline is completely empty. There are no new client calls coming in, no new inquiries, just a deafening silence. It's this incredibly stressful disconnect between the massive value she can provide and the reality of her current business flow.
And you know what makes an empty pipeline so dangerous? It's that while the revenue side of the equation just completely pauses, the expense side, yeah, that certainly doesn't. Those relentless monthly expenses keep marching right along. Think about it. You've got the commercial rent for that beautiful studio space. You have your team's salaries that absolutely need to be met every couple of weeks. There are those expensive design software subscriptions. And of course, all the physical design materials you need just to keep the studio operational. An empty pipeline isn't just a bruised ego, guys. It's a ticking clock. Literally every week without a new inquiry is a week where the business is actively losing capital.
So naturally, this brings us to a really critical pivot point, a question we have to ask. Why are the competitors winning? Sarah looks around her local market and she sees other interior design firms booked absolutely solid. They've got vans driving around town, they're constantly posting these newly completed projects, and their studios are just buzzing. Now, it is so easy in this moment to fall into a spiral of self-doubt. You start wondering things like, wait, are their designs better? Are their mood boards more cohesive? Am I just not talented enough? But to understand what's really happening here, we've got to strip all that emotion away. We need to look at the actual mechanics of modern consumer behavior, specifically what happens when a homeowner actively decides they need an interior designer.
To solve this mystery, we really have to look at the literal mechanism of how local businesses actually get found today. Step 1, a homeowner realizes they need help, right? So what do? They pull out their phone and they literally type interior designer near me right into Google. Now on to step 2, and this is absolutely vital. They don't scroll endlessly, they don't go to page 2 or page 3 or page 4 trying to hunt down the most creative designer out there. Consumer psychology tells us they want an immediate solution, which brings us right to step 3. They click the first few top spots that appear on their screen. Boom. Done. And here is the huge secret that Sarah didn't realize at first. Those coveted top search spots, they aren't won by luck. They aren't awarded just because you have a pretty website. They are powered intentionally and very predictably by Google Ads.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core realization. They weren't more creative. They were just more visible. I really, really want that to sink in for a second, especially if you're a business owner dealing with a bit of imposter syndrome right now. Listen, Sarah's competitors weren't winning because they had some better eye for color palettes or superior spatial awareness. Not at all. They were winning a game of pure digital real estate. They understood that visibility always beats hidden talent. Think about it. If the perfect client cannot find you in the exact second they are looking for your service, your creativity doesn't even get a chance to compete.
So, to fix her pipeline, Sarah had to experience what I like to call the search intent epiphany, and it's a really stark contrast. You see, the old way relies on random traffic. That's posting beautiful photos on social media, crossing your fingers, and just kind of hoping that maybe someone someday might stumble across your website and actually remember you when they buy a house. It's totally passive. Now, contrast that with high-intent clients. With Google Ads, your business appears exactly and only when someone is actively typing in a search that indicates they are ready to start a project right now. You are interrupting them during their day, you're answering their direct request. You are capturing high-intent demand at the exact moment of decision. Talk about a massive game changer.
So what actually happens when you make that switch from hoping for random traffic to capturing those high-intent searchers? Well, the transformation is rapid. In week 1, you architect and launch targeted Google Ads. The business goes from being completely invisible to sitting right at the top of the search results. By week 2, the dashboard lights up, we're seeing more inquiries, the phone actually starts ringing, and initial consultations are officially booked on the calendar. And by week 3, we have a steady, predictable flow of high-quality projects. Sarah goes from sitting in an empty, quiet studio to actively meeting with clients, presenting to really happy homeowners, and actually doing the design work she loves. Her pipeline is full, and it's not by accident, it's by design.
All right, moving right along to our next section, trust, authority, and action.
Now, having a tool like Google Ads is one thing, but architecting campaigns that actually generate those week 3 results without completely wasting your budget, that requires a master builder. It requires expert management from a top-rated agency on Fiverr, and let's look at the metrics that prove this system works. First up, 10+. This represents over 10 years of dedicated, highly specialized experience generating consistent leads. In the digital marketing world, you guys know a decade is literally an eternity. This isn't someone who just watched a quick tutorial yesterday. This is a solid decade of navigating algorithm changes, refining keyword strategies, and learning exactly what makes a homeowner click an ad and pick up the phone.
Then we have a staggering figure, over $5 million in managed ad spend. This represents deep statistical trust. You simply do not get to manage that much capital unless your campaigns are actively returning a positive return on investment. It means that every possible variation of ad copy, targeting, and bidding strategy has been rigorously tested with real capital out there in the real world to find what actually works to generate leads.
And finally, we hit the absolute climax of this authority stock, 500+, more than 500 successful projects delivered. This is your ultimate proof of concept. 500 times a business owner, just like Sarah, came with an empty pipeline or totally inconsistent leads, and 500 times a successful lead-generating project was delivered. It proves a singular, relentless focus on one specific outcome, bringing real, ready-to-buy clients right to your business.
So the crucial takeaway here is this: visibility is a choice. If your business is struggling right now with inconsistent leads, if you are staring around a beautiful but completely quiet studio, do not let an empty pipeline slow your growth. Stop relying on luck, stop relying on random traffic, and please stop letting your competitors win just because they're capturing the top spots on search. You can fix this. Book a free strategy call today by going to www.jantsing.com. And I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How many of your absolute dream clients are currently searching for exactly what you do right this very second, only to find your competitor instead? It is time to change that. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.